Hey, today I'm going to be talking about nano-solar cells. So before we really get into nano-solar cells, we should talk about renewable energy. Renewable energy is abundant but has yet to be used to its full potential because a lot of countries developing or developed have a strong reliance on fossil fuels such as Canada, the US, India, China. So non-renewable energy is becoming more and more scarce by the year because we're using it all up. So we're going to have to find an alternate energy source, and of course we have renewable energy. So, yeah. So let's talk about green nanotechnology now. Green nanotechnology is not nanotechnology that benefits the environment, uses less energy during manufacturing, has recyclable products, and uses eco-friendly materials. Examples of green nanotechnology are like water filtration, waste management, and of course, nanosolar cells. So what is a nanosolar cell? A nanosolar cell is a solar cell, but it has nanoparticles inside, which make it much more efficient. Excuse me. So they're really close to the cells that you're probably used to, but they differ when it comes to the build structure and efficiency of these cells. So it's very similar in the way that they both take energy, light energy and radiation from the sun to produce energy, but however they both sadly cannot produce over 50% efficiency. So I believe for nanocells it's 31 to 41%, and for the regular cells it's around 15 to 20 something percent efficiency, which is not as good as the of nanocells, of course, but they are both photovoltaic, which means they can harness energy from not only the sun but um, artificial light sources as well. So the difference is that regular solar cells are harder, thicker, and resemble more of a window shape than the nanocells that bend and are a lot thinner because of the build process of the nano solar cells is like a printing press. So that's how they get their thin shape, but eventually they do get stacked up, and that's how they harness the energy, like when they're put into panels. The nanoflakes inside the nanocells make it more efficient because of the crystalline structure of the flakes, which allow it to absorb a lot more light than the regular cells that have the common silicon semiconductors. So for efficiency, like I said before, nanoflakes allow for around 30% efficiency, while the normal cells have around 15 to 20%. So as you can see on the left, you have the nanosolar cell. As you can see, a lot thinner, can bend, but it does get stacked. And on the right, you can see the cell that you're probably used to seeing, a window, hard shaped. So let's talk about health concerns right now. People with electromagnetic hypersensitivity cannot go near the cells and panels because it gives them symptoms such as memory deficits, irregular heartbeat, fatigue, headaches, and stuff like that. But also breathing or coming in contact with the harmful chemicals during the production process of these cells is also pretty bad for you because uh, of the chemicals that they use, like silicon dust. If you breathe it in, it has similar. It can mess with your lungs, similar to asbestos, where you get scar tissue in your lungs, and that's just really bad for people. But let's talk about the environmental impact now. You have a lot of land and habitat loss because you're making huge stretches of these panels to take up as much surface area as you can because you want as much energy as you can possibly get. But also emissions created from the production of cells is really bad for the environment because like it goes up and goes into the ozone layer and such. Hazardous waste after the cells are no longer in use is also bad because if the waste is not disposed of properly, all the waste from the production and as well as the metal and the cells can be thrown like into the ocean, which is bad for different ecosystems, and it would just be a really bad picture. So as you can see here is the long stretches of panels. So you're taking up a lot of surface area from animals that may have been living there. So for customer acceptance, I think that customers right now will not accept it because they're so used to the way the fossil fuels are, and it's a lot cheap. And because it's a lot cheaper to use fossil fuels, they won't be really accustomed to using solar cells. But I feel like as time goes on and as we use up all of our non-renewable resources, that people will start turning to these renewable resources, and because nano solar cells are really efficient, that's where they'll turn. So I think the future of nano solar energy is hard to predict, but I believe that in the next decade or two, it'll thrive more than ever because of the loss of non-renewable energy. But I think regulations have to be put in place for the production because it could have really bad effects on the environment and for people creating it. So they should wear suits, masks, and other protective gear so they don't get hurt from the production process. So yeah. Also, the build for the nanocells are from copper, indium, gallium, and selenide. Yeah, thanks for watching. Nano solar cells.